murders, it's being said that Shana's hallucinations and delusions were getting worse. It has also been mentioned that family members had secluded themselves in this small apartment weeks before the murders. The father of one of the victims was calling Child Protection Services to check on his children when disturbing rumors he was hearing about his ex-wife. Religion, isolation, demons, mental illness, and talks of suicide. What was really going on? In Morrisville, Pennsylvania, on February 25, 2019, a macabre scene was being unveiled at the Robert Morris Apartments. It had been happening for the span of 3 days. Family members were suspicious, but none could be the wiser of what was actually occurring. A caseworker with Bucks County Children and Youth Services was doing a welfare check. A few years prior, there was allegations that Damon Decree Jr., 13, was being physically and sexually abused. No mention of a perpetrator, but he was in the DHR database. Shana Decree would abruptly take her son out of school 2 weeks before the murders. She said she would homeschool him and follow up later with the principal. She did not provide the necessary forms to be able to homeschool her child, so Damon Decree Jr. was reported by the principal of his school that he had been absent for several days and his mother was not answering her phone. The caseworker was following up on a recent visit. She knocked on the door, no one answered. A maintenance man on the property would give her access to the home by opening up the door. According to a probable cause affidavit, this is allowed. The caseworker was allowed entry. At 4:16 p.m., a call to 911. The apartment was in a disarray. Furniture was turned over, broken glass on the floor. It was trashed. 45-year-old Shana Decree and her 19-year-old daughter was found laying disoriented in a bed together. The caseworker said they appeared to be under the influence of something. In the other bedroom, there were 5 dead bodies, their relatives. Dominique had superficial knife wounds on her neck. You could actually see her self-inflicted knife cut in her mugshot. She said she didn't know what happened. Then she said a black man caused the injuries to her neck. She asked, was her family alive? She also repeatedly advised her wish to die, a courtroom document read. Shana at first denied she knew what happened as well. Then she told authorities her sister's boyfriend, now upon one of the deceased, had came in and with 2 other men and killed everyone but let her and Dominique live. Dominique would name the boyfriend and the other 2 men as well, but the story did not hold up. Then Shana said everyone at the apartment wanted to die. Everyone was talking about committing suicide together. Even the young children wanted to die, as young as 9. That's what they were saying. The mother and daughter were confused as to who murdered who. Shana said her sister, remember the one who's now deceased, had at least killed 1 person before her daughter, Dominique, would strangle her. Dominique actually said she knew that her mother and her aunt Jamila had murdered several of them before she would intervene. The mother and daughter pair would kill 2 of Shana Decree's other children, Naira Smith, 25, and Damon Decree Jr., 13, of Morrisville, Jamila Campbell, 42, and her 9-year-old twins, Amani and Erica Allen, from Trenton, New Jersey. Everyone had been asphyxiated but Jamila Campbell. She was strangled. Side note, Jamila, her children were not enrolled in Morrisville schools. And she was from Trenton. I don't know if she was visiting his family or came down there for these purposes. I have no idea. But she was in this small apartment with this family, her family. Jamila also had a son, Joshua, who was 17, who fortunately was not there, or he may have met the same fate. Authorities would find him. He was not a part of this crime at all, and he was okay. Damon Decree Sr., father of the accuser and victim, he said, quote, "They have been talking about demons being all around. Apparently, they had dissected into some type of cult that they materialized online. I don't know what kind of cult," unquote. Shana was even quoted saying she had to obey the demons. Shana Decree was seeing manifestations of demons and thought the world was coming to an end. Unfortunately, Dominique was under her influence at the time. The twins' sister, Destiny Harris, was away at college when she heard of this devastating, tragic news. She immediately returned home, feeling that she knew something wasn't right. She said, quote, "They were all going through something religiously and decided to drag the kids into it." Court documents revealed both women suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, depressive disorder, and stress disorder. Both Shana and Dominique's issues date back to childhood. During the court trial that was set for June and then reset for September 28, 2020, due to COVID-19 concerns, it actually happened in September 28, 2020. Shana would say she was sorry for killing the family in that type of manner. She also said she had a hole in her soul and will always love them more now. She even apologized to Dominique for not being the best mother. Dominique cried, and she said she was sorry for everything that had happened, and she doesn't know how it happened or why it happened. Family members would read impact statements. Ronald Smith, Nairi's father, describes driving when he found out his daughter was murdered. He had to pull over and he sat there for an hour completely shocked. Quote, "I still find myself hurting, lost," unquote. Damon Decree Sr. says he has a, quote, "special love," unquote, for his daughter, Dominique. He spoke of how proud he was when she had graduated, and he was looking forward to seeing his son graduate. He mourns his son daily. He was so depressed and overwhelmed, he tried to take his own life by overdosing on insulin. He has sought professional help. If it wasn't for the fact that documented reports of this mother and daughter's bouts with mental health, they would have easily got death sentences. Both women got the same sentence, 5 consecutive life sentences. They will never get out. This story has more questions than answers. This is so tragic. They have left these families to wonder and grieve for a long time to come. This story, when I first heard about it, it actually creeped me out. And I'm very hard to creep out. But it was just weird. It was just strange. It just really didn't make sense. Hopefully, the family members will try to find some professional help themselves to try to get past what has happened or cope with what has happened. When a murder-suicide isn't completed, it's just a murder.